It's official. Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and head coach Kevin O'Connell released their initial 53-man roster today. Alongside me here at TCO Studios, I've got the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, Vikings Entertainment Network's Gabe Henderson, and we're here to dive into the moves they made today. We weren't sure what we would see from that 53-man roster. You can find the whole thing at Vikings.com. So, PA, let's dive in with our first question today. What is your biggest observation or takeaway from the moves made today?
It would be takeaways in that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the new general manager, he is not afraid to draw a line in the sand with some of these decisions. Secondly, Ben Ellefson, Hawley, Minnesota, go crazy. North Dakota State University up in Fargo and the Bison, go crazy. I'm really happy Ben Ellefson made the team because on a team that is going to throw the ball a lot and do a lot of game changers, the cohesiveness and totality of a unit requires selfless players like Ben, who is really good blocking the run game and protecting the quarterback and on special teams. So I'm happy Ben made the team.
All right, Gabe, one big observation.
One big observation comes from the one position group that kept 4 players, the running back position group. And I was looking at it earlier and I'm like, why would this position group have 4 players? And I was like, okay, throughout the last 4 years, the Vikings have kept 4 running backs on the roster, starting with Dalvin Cook, top 3 running back in the NFL, but you got an injury history the past couple of years where he's missed 4 games in which Alexander Mattison has come in and had over 350 rushing yards in that absence. So Kene Nwangwu, who we saw on the screen earlier, he's a guy that's already going to be the top kick returner in the NFL again. But the biggest question is Ty Chandler. He's a guy that splashed all preseason. He's got the body type, though, that gives you opportunities to put him on every special teams unit this year. So Dalvin Cook is going to lead this room, but I think there are going to be a lot of talented guys behind him.
Yep. Not to mention fullback C.J. Ham also on the 53-man roster. Let's dive into those offensive observations from today. Following a backup quarterback battle, it came down to Nick Mullins making the team after Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond were waived today. The staff also, like you said, keeping the 4 running backs and a fullback. But let's take a look at the guys in front that make the whole thing go. It's the offensive line. If you take a look, you've got the names here behind us. But, PA, there's one name in particular that you're really excited to see take on 2022.
Well, it's Christian Darrisaw. And, Christian last year missed 5 games, then he started 6, then he missed 2. So if you can keep Christian on the field a majority of the games, because Brian O'Neill doesn't miss time, you might have a top 5, top 3 bookending tackle situation here for the first time in well over 10 years. Now, Darrisaw in this game against the Carolina Panthers, in fact, it's this play right here, I think, Hassan Reddick came running in right at the end of the game to get Kirk, and Darrisaw had to be super tired. He kept Reddick out, threw him aside, and Kirk won it to KJ. So just that little snapshot of what we saw from Christian, he's incredibly important, had a great camp too.
And it is of note in the offensive line room, rookie Ed Ingram winning the right guard spot, and the Vikings trading away Jesse Davis to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of moves today, as you mentioned, PA.
That's what Kwesi does.
Let's move it on to the wide receivers room. We knew it would be J.J. Thielen and KJ.
Yeah.
The Vikings keep 5. Gabe, what are you most excited about for this room of wide receivers?
I'm excited to see this Ihmir Smith-Marsette emergence. We saw it the Denver Broncos preseason game last week where he had 63 receiving yards, 21 punt return yards, and then he flashed as a run blocker. Ihmir Smith-Marsette last year in the league, the What Have You Done For Me Lately, he had 110 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games. So when you look at that, you say, okay, we want to see this guy make another step in his career. And after the first 2 preseason games this year where, it's a little inconsistent, I think he proved us right that last game. So KJ, JJ, Adam Thielen, they're going to get a lot of targets this year. But I think Ihmir Smith-Marsette can make his money and make his moves felt on the special teams unit. First off, winning that punt return position. And then if the wide receiver goes down like they did last year, he can be dancing in the end zone just like this.
That's a wrap on the offensive side of things. Let's switch to defense. That was probably one of the more surprising moves of the day.
Yeah.
The Vikings waiving defensive tackle Armon Watts and picking up former Texan Ross Blacklock to be on the defensive line. I mean, crazy moves today, guys, but I think something we wanted to focus on today was that room of outside linebackers, because who is not excited to see the combination of Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter? except maybe there's someone else to also keep an eye on, PA.
Well, first and foremost, Luigi Villain popping out of nowhere, making the active 53. Very well done, young man. Secondly, I'm really excited for DJ Wanham. Now, DJ is heading into his third year. So in the third year, traditionally, it's go time for the big timers. And I think DJ has that in him. He had 8 sacks last year. Everybody knows that. But what really intrigues me about DJ is he had 4 passes defensed, up from 1 his rookie year. Now, what's that? That's when the quarterback throws the ball and the lineman or the outside linebacker tips the ball. Not cornerbacks, safeties, they do it, linebackers sometimes, but when defensive linemen do it, and Kevin Williams, the big ticket, was really good at it, that can lead to turnover. So DJ is sitting on something big, and I can't wait to call those games.
Well, we are going to swing past the safeties really fast. We kind of knew that was coming. Harrison Smith, Lewis Seen, Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus on the roster. Let's go to the defensive back rooms. One of the hottest debates this offseason was talking about who's going to start opposite Patrick Peterson. Gabe, take it away.
Yeah, we know the defensive line unit, like PA just said, is going to be a complementary unit for the cornerback room. And when you got Patrick Peterson, who's already a really good corner, Hall of Fame corner, the guy opposite of him is only going to raise his game, and Cam Dantzler is that guy. I talked to Devontae Jones earlier this week, and he said there's a huge difference between Cam Dantzler in year 1 when he coached him and Cam Dantzler in year 3. He said Cam Dantzler's eyes are in the right place. He can anticipate things. And if you look at Cam Dantzler's film the last couple of years, he wasn't anticipating things, which ultimately led to a couple of receivers, I won't mention them, getting over top of him. So I think week 1 this year, Cam Dantzler is going to get a lot of pass targets. Aaron Rodgers is going to see how good is this Cam Dantzler guy. And I think Cam Dantzler is going to show up and show out and hopefully get some interceptions. I honestly believe this is going to be Cam Dantzler's biggest year because quarterbacks are going to be targeting him. And when you target Cam Dantzler and he gets 4 to 5 to 6 interceptions, that means your quarterback has to hold the ball a little bit longer, which to your point, and the guys behind us are going to get those meet me at the quarterback sack dances and hopefully Aaron Rodgers week 1.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we like to see. Well, you brought it up first, Gabe. It is time for all of our eyes to turn to that season opener against the Green Bay Packers, September 11th at US Bank Stadium. 12 days away. I cannot believe that we are almost in single digits. But PA, what are you most looking forward to in that matchup?
Well, not only in that matchup, but for the season, I'm super excited for Kirk Cousins. And he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL in the first place. You know, he not only, you know, where you rank him, top 10, top 8, whatever you rank him, it doesn't matter. It's in this offense, a timing-based offense. A lot of it is predicated, if you watch what the Rams did, on talented receivers on the run. So the run after catch is going to be very important, and Kirk is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, with a strong arm and with an accurate arm on deep shots. So I'm super excited for what's in front of Kirk Cousins this year, and it all starts September 11th.
Yes, it does. Gabe,
September
what about
11th.
you? Tossing it over.
I'm just looking forward to seeing fans at US Bank Stadium. The first time, well, my first ever game with the Vikings was the first time that the Vikings have ever hosted the Green Bay Packers in a week 1 game in franchise history.
Oh.
So I was sitting beside PA, no fans involved, and it felt like a road game, to be completely honest with you. So if you ask me, this is the first time the Vikings have hosted the Packers for a home game with fans. So I'm just excited to see what we do against, this Green Bay Packers team that we all love to hate. So Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, this new regime, Zadarius Smith, Chandon Sullivan, so many different storylines heading into this week, and I just cannot wait to see it all come to fruition week 1 against the Green Bay Packers.
Well, you got me excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see fans. I'm excited to see Kirk in this year, but I'm just ready to see the team chemistry and everyone come together. We haven't seen the starters all play together yet, so that is what I'm most looking forward to on September 11th when the Vikings host Green Bay. That's a look at your roster. You can check out the full initial 53-man roster on Vikings.com. And of course, stick with Vikings.com, Vikings Entertainment Network, as we head into the big season opener just 12 days away. For Paul Allen, Gabe Henderson, I'm Tatum Everett. We will see you at the bank in just a few days.